Hey everyone. So in this microlecture, we're really going to introduce our topic of diagnostic criteria. This session was really meant to just lay the groundwork for a couple of points that will probably be referred to later on as we move through this unit. So before we begin, I just wanted to talk about a clinical pet peeve, and also, in addition to this being just a pet peeve of mine and many clinicians, I do want to also iterate that what I'm about to say actually is aligned with the APA 7th edition guidelines. So when we're talking about a person with autism, we use person first language, saying that we're dealing with or we're helping an individual with autism. We're not talking about a child who is autistic. We're talking about an individual who has autism. Now, this is regardless of what you say in the you hear or what you see in the media, because this happens every day. You'll hear parents saying, "My son is autistic." You'll see very famous newscasters talking about a child who's autistic. We can't change the behavior and the beliefs of others, but we certainly can start by being models of the desired behavior. But you should know that these disagreements are very deeply entrenched. Here I'm telling you that as clinicians, we use person first language, but I will tell you that there is a large contingent of individuals with ASD that actually want to be called autistic and want to be called Aspies was the term when Asperger syndrome was around in the 4th edition. So really, this is a little bit controversial, I will tell you. I would be remiss if I didn't share that with you. But as clinicians, we are to use person first language unless the person with autism asks to be termed as identity first. Just to give you an example, I have a colleague who has ASD who wants to be called autistic, and he and I have actually had many conversations about this. And in that case, obviously, I'm happy to acquiesce, but really we start with person first and then move the conversation forward. So when we talk about what is ASD, we know it's a developmental disability. We know that learning, thinking, problem solving abilities can range from gifted to severely challenged. Some people with ASD need a lot of help in their daily lives, others need less. The symptoms do begin prior to age 3, and this is a lifelong condition. And this causes significant challenges in social communication and behavioral areas, also called restrictive repetitive behaviors. Now you might hear the term RRB moving forward. You know what that is. Some children show ASD issues within the first few months of life. Others may not show up until 24 months or later. We'll talk more about this as the class proceeds. But these are the basic symptoms that we talk. When we talk about incidence and prevalence, I do want to say before I forget that the numbers here vary from state to state. The incidence, I just want to review this for you because I know a lot of students, and sometimes myself, to be honest, get these words confused. So the incidence is the number of new cases diagnosed within a time frame, and the prevalence is the total number. So here we have 1 in 54 children, 1 in 37 boys, and 1 in 151 girls in the United States. And at a worldwide level, we're at 1 in 160. And I challenge you to think about why those differences are present in terms of 1 in 160 worldwide versus when we have the gender breakout in the US, 1 in 37 boys and 1 in 151 girls. There are lots of reasons why that can be. But for now, I just challenge you to think about that. So now the next question is, who can have an ASD? ASD does not discriminate. It's not specific to racial, ethnic, or economic groups. As you saw in the previous slide, we're talking about a ratio of 5-to-1 boys to girls, which is alluding to a genetic underpinning. We'll talk more about that. And approximately 75% of children with autism also fall within the range of intellectual disability through IQ testing. We are actually going to talk about why that may be so, and I challenge you to question that for now. So, with that, those are the points I wanted to bring up, and I thank you for your attention.